Italy stunned England 23-18 in Rome as Six Nations campaign unravels for Steve Borthwick's side. England's Six Nations campaign descended into chaos after a dramatic 23-18 defeat to Italy in Rome, a result that will echo through European rugby for years to come. In a pulsating test match at the Stadio Olimpico, Italy produced one of the greatest performances in their history to claim a famous victory, while England endured another damaging setback in a tournament that has spiraled badly out of control. The result was historic not only because of its significance, but also because of what it symbolized. Italy had chased moments like this for decades. Their inclusion in the Six Nations has often been accompanied by criticism and doubts about their competitiveness. Yet on this occasion, they proved beyond doubt that they belong on the biggest stage. For England, however, the defeat was another bitter chapter in what has become a deeply troubling campaign, a campaign that has fallen apart just a few weeks ago. England looked poised to mount a genuine challenge for the Six Nations title. Their opening victory against Wales suggested that Steve Borthwick's team might finally have found the consistency required to compete for silverware. At that point, the narrative surrounding the team was optimistic. The goal was clear: arrive in Paris on the final weekend with the championship within reach. Instead, England will now travel to the French capital with their reputation severely damaged and their head coach under intense scrutiny. Losses to Scotland and Ireland had already placed the team under pressure, but defeat to Italy was an entirely different level of embarrassment. England entered the match with a strong record against the Azzurri and were widely expected to bounce back after previous disappointments. Instead, they collapsed in a second-half implosion that left supporters stunned and critics questioning the direction of the team. That Borthwick side had been on a 12-match winning streak against Italy prior to the match, and their early control suggested the pattern would continue. But as the game unfolded, the cracks that had been visible throughout the tournament became impossible to ignore. The wheels of England's campaign had come off in spectacular fashion. Italy rose to the occasion while England's shortcomings were evident. Italy's performance deserves enormous credit. Under the guidance of head coach Gonzalo Casada, the Azzurri have gradually developed into a confident and tactically astute team. Their victory against England was not simply the result of opposition errors. It was built on discipline, creativity, and a fearless approach to attacking rugby that Italy's players understood the magnitude of the occasion. Playing in front of a passionate home crowd in Rome, they delivered a performance that combined physical intensity with moments of genuine brilliance. The atmosphere inside the Stadio Olimpico became electric as the match progressed. Each successful tackle, turnover, and attacking move lifted the crowd's energy, creating a sense that something special might be unfolding, by the final whistle. That belief had become reality. That early English control without reward England began the match confidently and quickly established control of territory and possession. Their forwards dominated the early exchanges, and the visitors made several promising entries into Italy's 22. However, despite their territorial advantage, England failed to convert those opportunities into points. Repeated attacking phases ended without a breakthrough, allowing Italy to gradually settle into the contest. The inability to capitalize on early dominance proved costly. When a team spends extended periods in the opposition's territory without scoring, the psychological balance of the match can quickly shift. That is exactly what happened in Rome. After absorbing England's early pressure, Italy began to grow in confidence and eventually struck first on the scoreboard. England were penalized for offside at a lineout inside their own 22, giving fly-half Paolo Garbisi the opportunity to open the scoring. His penalty kick sailed through the posts, handing Italy a 3-0 lead and igniting the home crowd. That England strike back. Italy's lead lasted only a few minutes. England had been gaining confidence at the scrum, and another penalty in that area provided the territory they needed to launch an attacking move. From the resulting play, England worked the ball wide, and winger Tommy Freeman crossed the line for the opening try of the match. Lock Alex Coles played a key role with a clever pass that created the space required for Freeman to finish. The try restored England's advantage and seemed to reinforce the expectation that they would ultimately take control of the match. However, the conversion attempt was missed, and England failed to extend their lead during the following passages of play. That lapse would soon come back to haunt them. Menoncello's moment of magic, the turning point of the first half, arrived in the 34th minute, when Italy produced a moment of brilliance that completely changed the momentum of the match. A seemingly harmless phase of play began with a modest carry from Manuel Zuliani. The ball was recycled slowly, and England's defensive line appeared well organized. But when the ball reached Tommaso Menoncello, everything changed. The Italian center burst through a missed tackle from Joe Hayes before accelerating into open space. England flanker Sam Underhill was unable to close the gap, and suddenly the defensive line was in disarray. Menoncello powered forward with remarkable pace and strength, leaving Elliot Daly scrambling desperately as the last line of defense. With the crowd roaring, the Italian star crossed the try line to complete a stunning individual effort. Garbisi converted the try to give Italy a 10-5 lead. That it was a moment that perfectly captured the growing confidence within the Italian team. England regained the lead before halftime. Italy's advantage did not last long. In the closing moments of the first half, the Azzurri had an opportunity to simply kick the ball out of play and protect their lead. Instead, they attempted to continue attacking, a decision that ultimately backfired. A handling error allowed England to regain possession, and they quickly exploited the opportunity. The fly-half Finn Smith produced a perfectly weighted cross-field kick that found winger Tom Roebuck on the opposite flank. Roebuck gathered the ball and crossed the line for England's second try of the match. Smith then converted the difficult kick, giving England a 12-10 lead heading into halftime. Despite trailing, Italy remained firmly in the contest. England extended their advantage. The second half began with England attempting to assert greater control over the game. Italy conceded an early penalty following a messy breakdown involving Lorenzo Pani, and England used the opportunity to apply pressure near the try line. Although Ellis Genge appeared close to scoring, the referee ruled a knock-on before the ball could be grounded. Moments later, England were awarded another penalty at the scrum. Smith calmly kicked the points to extend the lead to 15. The match was becoming increasingly physical, with both teams battling fiercely at the breakdown. When Italian hooker Giacomo Nicotera received a yellow card in the 53rd minute for illegally interfering with the ball at a ruck, England seemed to have the perfect chance to secure the victory. Smith added another penalty to push the score to 18-10, giving England an 8-point advantage and a numerical superiority. From that position, the visitors should have been able to control the remainder of the match. Instead, everything fell apart. That England's discipline collapses with momentum on their side. England suddenly lost their composure. Flanker Sam Underhill was shown a yellow card in the 57th minute for a high tackle on Italian prop Danilo Fischetti. The decision immediately shifted the balance of the match. Garbisi converted the resulting penalty, reducing the deficit to 5 points. Soon after, another penalty against England allowed Garbisi to kick again, leaving just 2 points separating the teams with 20 minutes remaining. The tension inside the stadium was palpable. Then came another critical mistake. England captain Mauro Itoje attempted to disrupt possession by knocking the ball out of Alessandro Fusco's hands as the scrum half tried to play it away from them all. The referee deemed the action illegal and issued another yellow card. Suddenly, England were down to 13 players. Italy seized their moment, with England temporarily reduced in numbers. Italy sensed the opportunity to make history. That a famous victory. England attempted to respond during the final minutes, but Italy defended bravely and refused to surrender their lead.